Hello and welcome to this second edition of Healthy Shift Worker TV, and in today's episode we're going to be talking about why we need to be prioritising our sleep when working 24/7, which I know sounds like a bit of a no-brainer, but surprisingly so many of us are failing to do so. But before I dive in, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Audrey Starkey. I'm the founder of the Healthy Shift Worker, and I help shift workers and organisations improve their health and well-being through wellness, online wellness programs and wellness seminars. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about what I do, feel free to head over to my website, healthyshiftworker.com. So today, as I said, I want to talk about why we should be prioritising our sleep when working 24/7, and surely we'd be doing that if we work shift work. Wrong. There are so many of us that aren't actually prioritising our sleep when we work 24/7, and that's from working with so many clients over the years, and even watching my own behaviour. Having worked shift work myself, I know that there's plenty, or has been plenty of room for improvement. But there are many reasons why we need to be doing this. But for the purpose of this short episode, I want to focus on one thing, and that is our immune system. Without sufficient quality sleep, our immune system is unable to keep us well. In other words, sleep, or our immune system, relies heavily on us getting sufficient quality sleep. And this has been shown in many different clinical trials where infection-fighting antibodies have shown to decrease from a lack of sleep. And even Professor Russell Foster, that's right. Professor Russell Foster, who is a sleep researcher, a circadian rhythm specialist, did a TED talk called Why We Sleep. And in that particular TED talk, he actually shares, why tired people are more prone to infections. And so I actually recommend that you go and watch that after finishing this video. So, as I said, how it actually works is it reduces certain immune cells called T cells, and also increases certain inflammatory cells called cytokines if our body hasn't had enough sleep. So, and that also poses another problem, because if we have, our body is quite high in inflammation is actually one of the leading causes of many chronic health conditions that we see today. So quite simply, if you're not getting sufficient quality sleep, it's going to raise your risk for developing things like obesity, type 2 diabetes or diabetes, and even cardiovascular diseases. So again, prioritising our sleep is absolutely crucial. Now, you might be watching this and thinking, rolling your eyes, saying, Audrey, I'm fine, I can run on around 4 to 6 hours sleep, no problem. I'm actually going to call you off on that one, because, there are, according to the research, there is a small percentage of the population that can do that, and that's because they hold a particular gene called a DEC2 gene. And the reason why they can sleep on a lot less sleep is because their brain is able to undergo a certain cleansing process through the lymphatic system to remove a lot of the toxic waste products, but really only applies to about 1% of the population. So if you're watching this video, I doubt that it actually applies to you. So we really need to be making sure that we are getting way more than 4 to 6 hours of sleep. Now, my tip to help you to do that is actually a 4-letter word, and that's time, because we all have the same amount of time. And I know that this is a lot more challenging on those tight turnaround shifts, and honestly, if I had a magic wand and I could get rid of all of your quick turnaround shifts, I would if I could. That certainly makes it a lot more difficult. However, we need to be really, as I said, as I was alluded to at the beginning, a lot of us are kind of wasting our time, either unknowingly or knowingly, and it really isn't encroaching on that really valuable sleep time. So, things like social media and our mobile phones, as I'm talking into one right now, you really need to start being conscious of the amount of time that you are spending on your phones, your laptops, or whatever else you're doing that is going to encroach on your sleep time. and even start saying no to more things and more people more often. You really need to get into the mindset of, you know, preserving and protecting your sleep like your life depends on it, because it quite literally does. So I hope you found that episode of Healthy Shift Worker TV interesting. If you'd like any more free resources, or if you'd like to reach out and contact me, as I said, please feel free to head on over to my website at healthyshiftworker.com. All right, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye.